Known for her dedication, Dr. Liena Wexler was respected for her passion for advancing optometry. Her clinic, tucked away in a quiet corner of the city, buzzed with patients eager for the latest breakthroughs. Her newest offering, Perceptrix Lenses, promised sharper vision, even for those with perfect eyesight. The lenses claim to heighten the brain's ability to process visual data, allowing wearers to unlock and perceive hidden spectrums of the world around them. Immediately popular, the lenses left people amazed by the vibrant colors and intricate details they had never seen before. Yet Liena couldn't ignore a faint unease whenever she saw the company's promotional mascot, a cheerfully inexplicable figure, overweight and bald, draped in a flowing purple nightgown. Its face was always blurred, as if intentionally obscured, adding to the unsettling feeling. Strangely, no one else seemed to think anything of it. Her unease deepened when the first death occurred. Marissa, a college student who had been ecstatic about the lenses, was found dead in her apartment, eyes wide open as though frozen in terror. The autopsy cited unexplained cardiac arrest, but Liena couldn't ignore the hushed rumors from Marissa's roommate. She claimed Marissa had been mumbling about something in the corner of her eye. Weeks passed, and more patients met similar fates. They all shared one chilling similarity. Their bodies were contorted and their faces frozen with a fear beyond words. Liena, overcome with guilt, began contacting families of the deceased. From their stories, a pattern emerged. The victims described sharp headaches and momentary glimpses of a man with no face, always out of focus, always just at the edge of their vision. One evening, consumed by anxiety, Liena decided to test the Perceptrix lenses herself. She slipped them on, staring into her clinic's mirror. For a moment, there was nothing but her faded reflection. Then a flicker, a shadow moved behind her. She spun around, heart thundering, nothing. That night, when Liena got home, away from the city, her head began to hurt. Suddenly, she thought she saw a figure in the corner of her eye by the living room window, lingering longer than before. She looked, but no one was there. Liena moved to turn on all the lights, but just before she did, she noticed something behind the window, a faceless, overweight man in a purple nightgown, swaying as though caught between worlds. There was something timeless and wrong about him, as if reality itself rejected his presence. As the figure sharpened into view, she gasped. Frantic, Liena tore the lenses off and began to research. She found that the technology's core algorithm had been sourced from an obscure scientific paper. The author, who had disappeared years ago, had theorized the existence of visual boundaries between dimensions. Liena realized the lenses didn't just enhance sight, they peeled back the veil, revealing something that should remain unseen. It wasn't until she received an anonymous letter that she understood the nightmare fully. The note read, "He wears the nightgown of the first dreamer who called him forth." Liena remembered the promotional mascot and shuddered. The company had unknowingly invoked the being, using the symbol of the purple nightgown as a logo for the lenses. And then came the change. The blur, as it came to be known, had never been confined to the edges of vision. It was moving closer, crossing the threshold into reality. It was no longer just a fleeting shadow at the periphery of sight. It was becoming real. And worse, Liena discovered a horrifying truth. The closer the blur got to anyone, the more their vision began to blur, accompanied by a powerful headache that intensified the nearer the figure came. With each passing second, the world would grow more distorted, until at the last moment, when the blur stood directly before them, their vision would become completely consumed by darkness, their bodies racked with pain. The terror was overwhelming, and in the final instant, the sight of the blur's faceless face, the horrifying emptiness where a face should have been, was enough to stop a heart in its tracks, causing death by sheer shock. Liena's last recorded words, a faint whisper left on a voicemail to a colleague, were barely audible, drowned out by the pounding in her head and the growing pressure in her skull.
He sees us now.